Oh yes, we're back talking once again about the Cowboy Bebop live action, today with a very particular topic that was a heated discussion apparently over this weekend. I sort of missed out on this, and this is about, of course, Faye Valentine and her outfit and the actress that plays her. Now, I kind of didn't want to make this video at first because I'm like, I don't really want to be like looked at as like an SJW and put into that camp, because usually I'm like adamantly against all that kind of shit. But at the same time, I was like, this is probably something that would be decent to talk about for a video, as well as I kind of see both sides of the argument. So I want to play devil's advocate a little bit here for both sides, because I see where everybody's coming from. The first thing I'm going to do is sort of run down the facts and let you guys know what's going on. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you my kind of personal thoughts and opinions about everything that's happening right now. But if you don't know, Cowboy Bebop, the legendary anime, one of my favorite anime of all time. If you have not seen it, please just go do so right away. Don't worry about the live action. Don't worry about these videos and the controversy and Faye Valentine. Don't, just shut all that shit out. Just go watch the anime, because there is no replacing the anime. Even if a live action comes out, whether it's good, whether it sucks, whether it's somewhere in the middle, does not matter, because the original anime is probably one of the greatest. No, not probably. It is one of the greatest anime ever created. It's only 26 episodes and a movie. Go check it out if you haven't. Want to get that out of the way. That's the main disclaimer that I want to say from me personally, because there's no replacing the anime no matter what. So just go watch it. It's legendary. It's amazing. It's great. You'll love it. Anyways, okay. So what's happening right now? So as you know, the live action is coming out. The first pics were released about a week or so ago. I made a video about that, and I don't really remember what I said about Faye's. I know I commented on Faye's outfit in the video, but it was off the cuff, and it was like this video. There's no script or anything. I'm just sort of ranting, so I don't like particularly remember what I said in that video. However, I did make mention of the changes that they did for Faye's outfit, and I knew that would piss some people off, because obviously, you know, Faye is a very sexually charged, sexualized character. Because that is her character. She uses a lot of her sex appeal and the way that she looks, and sort of to win over and get a leg up on people. She uses whatever advantage she can in life, because her character, without spoiling too much, is a very kind of lonely, isolated character that comes from a different you know, whatever. I don't want to spoil anything. She's very alone in life, and she's sort of like making her way through life and surviving the way she has to. So she lies, she cheats, she steals, she uses her sex appeal in order to get a leg up on just life in general, and to help herself survive and exist within this world. And so that's part of Faye's character, is her sexuality. So when translating this to live action, you want the actress that's playing the character to also attribute that part of Faye's personality. Now, that is a part of her personality, but it's also obviously showcased in the way that the character looks, and the way that she's designed. She's a very hot, sexy character. And I actually think that the actress that they picked to play her is actually extremely attractive as well. This may just be Ryan once again being attracted to Hispanic girls. I don't know what it is. Daniela Pineda, I think her name is. Yeah, she's freaking gorgeous, like absolutely like, gorgeous. She's not built like Faye. She doesn't have like this massive rack and this super tiny waist and everything, but she's extremely attractive in my opinion. Now, the problem isn't the attractiveness of the actress. The problem that people are bringing up is the outfit itself. As you can see, I put up this little side-by-side. I know I'm kind of covering it a little bit, but so this is traditionally what she wears throughout most of the series, compared to the photos that were released for the live action. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. There are only about 3 or 4 photos released for the live action so far, so that does not accurately represent what she's going to look like at all times throughout the series. There very well may be various costume changes along the way. I think it's a little unfair to kind of come up with an opinion immediately just upon a few photos instead of actually seeing the finished product. We haven't even seen a trailer yet. That's the thing. Like, people are getting very hyped and emotional about this, and we haven't even seen a trailer. We haven't even seen how it looks in live action yet, how the acting actually is, how well she represents the character. All we've seen is the outfit. Now, all things being equal, I will understand the other side and where they're coming from, is that you want to see Faye in a sexualized manner. Like, you want to see her be sexy and use her sex appeal and dress the way that she's traditionally shown, especially when you have characters like Spike and Jet and the other characters that we see in the promo images that look pretty much exactly how their anime counterparts look. So I can understand where people are coming from with Faye not being as revealing as she is, wanting to be able to see that. And trust me, I mean, looking at this actress, I would definitely love to see that as well, don't get me wrong. I also don't think there's anything particularly wrong with sexualizing characters, both male or female. I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, Chris Hemsworth and Thor taking off his shirt in every single scene and, like, hearing the female audience gasp just the same way. I don't think there's anything wrong with if we were to see Faye dressed like she was originally. I don't think there's anything wrong with characters being hot and sexual, because at the end of the day, it's all fantasy. You know what I mean? People they don't have to be realistic. They don't have to be subdued in that sort of way. I think characters can be exaggerated in a variety of ways. And so that's why whenever it comes to like anime and manga and comics and stuff like that, when girls are drawn with like proportions that would not make sense in real life, I never really got upset about it. You know, take it with a grain of salt because I'm a straight dude talking about this. But at the same time, it's fantasy. It's not real. It's a story, you know, and it's the themes and ideas that the story portrays that are like the important intellectual part of it. But if you're looking at characters that are jacked beyond belief, super bodybuilder, muscular characters that wouldn't make any sense for like the average dude, as well as like hot, slim, you know, big busty women as far as their comic books or manga or anime goes, it is what it is. Like, it's fantasy. Why not make them look as sexy as possible? Like, it doesn't really, none of that really ever fazed me. So when I look at this costume change, I can understand at least where people are coming from as being like, well, all things being equal, and if the other characters are accurate to their anime counterparts, and then Faye, they're kind of covering her up. And I can understand people coming to the conclusion of being like, oh, they're doing it because they're trying to avoid the male gaze or not make her sexual, you know, or anything like that, or they're trying to like masculinize her or something like that. And I can understand where people are coming from with that, but I think it's jumping the gun a little too much. Because I do think that, again, we have not seen other costume changes in the series. We haven't seen a trailer. We haven't seen the series. We're going off of like 4 images at best. And also, we don't know how the actress is going to portray her character. And also, there's a variety of different reasons as to why costume changes would have happened. I'm not saying that that's not part of the reason, but I'm also saying that, like, there could have, like, stunts being involved was one thing that people were bringing up. Also, like, the practicality of it, the fact that Faye in the anime is very, again, exaggerated to a point where a real person would not fit that body image. And so, like, it's kind of hard to develop the costume around that. With an actual real life person. Now, the other thing that people are going to bring up is cosplayers, and I completely understand that point because there are a lot of very sexy cosplay girls that have dressed like Faye before and have pulled it off fantastically. But there's a big difference between being an actress and being a cosplayer. There are very different things that you have to do, not only including the stunts, but the acting and the movement and everything that you have to do that involves being an actress, along with as opposed to being a cosplayer who is standing statically to take images, you know, so it's a little bit different. The other big thing that kind of came out was the actress Daniela. She posted a video sort of responding to the criticism, and well, let me just, there's an article right here I want to bring up for you guys. So let's look at the article real quick. Yeah, so the article says Daniela addresses the Faye costume criticisms and doing stunts in tissue paper. So let me just read this article a little bit. This is thegamer.com. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'll link it below. So she released an Instagram video, apologized to fans who wouldn't stop taking shots at her body or the costume she'll wear in the upcoming Cowboy Bebop series. Just last week revealed yada yada yada. While there's live action, the usual back and forth amongst fans when it comes to projects like live action Bebop, some folks got particularly nasty over Faye's costume and made bizarre comments, yada yada yada. Okay, so here's basically her quote. I'm not going to play the video because you can go look it up for yourself if you want to, but first I wanted to apologize to the fans. I did not anatomically match Faye Valentine's character. 6 foot, double D size breast, 2-inch waist. You know, they looked everywhere for that woman. They couldn't find her. It's kind of weird, so they just went with my short ass. She's, you know, she's making light of the situation. She's making a joke about it. You know, it talks about doing stunts in tissue paper, things disappearing, they rip, they tear, they get lost, which I'm sure is very true. The outfit she wears for the role as Faye is probably the biggest departure from the original design among the cast, but given that she does look like actual tissue paper, and Faye really moves. It makes sense for a woman in live action to change it, basically. Faye is a character that has always been in control of her sexuality, often using it to her advantage in the anime, but animated Faye doesn't have to worry about the costume hiccups when she's crawling over car seats and giant guns. That's really true, actually. The other conversation about Faye's outfits, her ability to express her sexuality, are far more complicated, but ultimately it's demeaning to Panita that we're here. Yada yada. Okay, so that's what the article says. So I will say, when it comes to Daniela's response, because I did watch the video, here's the thing, is that, number one, it doesn't have anything to do with Daniela, the actress, what the costume decisions are, because that comes down to the directors of the series and the costume department themselves. The actress just shows up and does the part however they want them to do the part. So they wear what they need to wear and they go with it. And she says basically they did try to do the outfit in a number of ways and ultimately resulted in the final product that you see. So it's not a lack of trying. They tried to do it. Either the costume kept ripping or tearing or getting stuck or whatever like that, wasn't working while she was trying to do what she needed to do, and then they changed it, which makes sense from a practical point of view. Also, again, it's not her fault, and her response, a lot of people are getting upset about her response saying that she's being disrespectful to the fans and everything like that. But here's the thing. And like, again, like, don't lump me in like the SJW category, but let's be honest here. Girls, for the most part, are very, very self-conscious about the way they look and the way that they are seen, right? So when there is a huge assortment of comments talking about how Faye, doesn't look, like she does in the anime, or that the costume's not right, and all of these comments, the actress is probably not taking these comments in the way that they are being expressed. What I mean is, people are expressing the change in the costume. However, from the actress's point of view, she's probably taking it as an insult to how she looks, how her figure is, or how she doesn't represent Faye, or how her tits aren't that big, or how her waist isn't that small, So she's taking it in a very sort of self-conscious way. And she's probably looking at the comments from a distance. She's probably not scrolling through Twitter looking at each specific comment. She's probably just getting a barrage of messages, of DMs, of people telling her that she sucks, or that she's not Faye, and that all of this stuff, like getting a bunch of hate, because that's what people do. And so, like, you got to think about it from the point of view of a woman who is playing a very sexual character, who, is displaying her body the way that she is in it, and people are commenting at her like that. You can't really blame her for being defensive or self-conscious about her body, because that's how she's viewing it, because whether we like it or not, whatever it is, it is what it is. Women are looked at in a sexual way. Like, it's just, and I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with that, because obviously, like, men need to look at women sexually in order to be attracted to them, in order to procreate and continue the human species as we know it. So there needs to be sexual attraction, and obviously that's the first thing visually that you see when you look at a woman, right? So it's a very, like, self-conscious thing, that if you're getting a ton of comments commenting on your body and the way that you look, that she would take it that way and that she would react defensively. And I don't think that her reaction was really that bad. I think it was sort of an emotional, like, immediate sort of response to a ton of criticism that are directed towards her body. Now, it wasn't directed towards her body, it was directed towards the costume, but I can understand her taking it in that way, and I don't blame her for it. And also, like I said, it's not her fault to decide what the ultimate costume decision is. That comes down to the director, and that comes down to the costume department. If they did try it the first way and it wasn't working, it's still not up to the actress to say, I want this costume change, because if she's already signed on to the project, she has to do, I mean, there can be negotiations, whatever it is, or she could choose to leave if she wants to, but ultimately it's not her decision to decide what she wears in the project. That's the directors, the producers, the costume department. That's all them. So I don't blame her taking it the way that she did. I don't think that people should really kind of beat her up for what she did or what she said. Also, if people saying, she's not a real fan of the series or whatever like this, well, guess what? actors don't need to be a fan of the property before they sign on to do it. They actually don't even need to know a lot about it. Do you think every Marvel actor, do you think all of, I said Chris Hemsworth before, but every actor that was in Marvel was a big fan of the comics? Do you think Benedict Cumberbatch was a big fan of Doctor Strange comics before he was Doctor Strange? He might have been, I don't know. But like, the point is, most of these actors don't know the property before they sign on. A lot of these actors, get the role, then learn about the character, and then portray it in their own unique way. So she doesn't need to have ever seen Cowboy Bebop before. She doesn't need, I mean, sure, it would help. Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would help if she was already a fan, but she didn't need to. She's an actress that signed on to do a job. And from what I can tell, she did that job. I mean, we'll see how good the acting is when the series comes out. We'll see how accurate it is. She might screw it up. She might suck at it, Maybe this will be a horrible portrayal of Faye. But I don't think we can conclude whether it's a good portrayal or bad portrayal just based on the costume choices. All things being equal, would I have liked to seen a more accurate Faye costume? Of course I would have. Because you want to see Faye be Faye, and you want to see her in that sexual way because that's part of Faye's character. And let's just say it how it is. It's nice to look at on the screen. There's nothing wrong with looking at characters that are being hot, that are being sexy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Also, this is not the first time this stuff has happened. I wanted to mention, now I know a lot of people are not fans of the Ghost in the Shell live action movie. I'm in the minority in that. But when, Scarlett Johansson, who played the Major, when she goes invisible, she's supposed to be naked, right? She's supposed to take all of her clothes off, turn invisible. That's why you can't see her. In the movie, they came up with this sort of like skin-colored suit that she wears that turns her invisible. Now, that's not accurate, right? So if it was to be accurate to the anime, she should have been naked in all those scenes, right? But that didn't happen. So these changes are made sometimes, and I don't necessarily think it's like a conservative choice to change it. Sometimes I just think it works for what works in anime, and what works in manga sometimes doesn't necessarily work in live action the same way. And that's the thing too, and I'll bring this back around to my original point, which will wrap this whole video together, is that when something is adapted from animation into live action or comic into live action, it's different. It's a different medium entirely. So if you want the original Cowboy Bebop, like I said, there is no substitute for watching the original anime. That is the gold standard of anime, in my opinion. No matter how good or bad the live action Cowboy Bebop is, nothing will touch the anime. That is 100% Cowboy Bebop through and through, peak Bebop, and that's exactly the kind of Bebop that you should be gravitating towards, and that's the one you should care about. If Cowboy Bebop, the live action, comes out and it's good, cool, good, right on. Nice, live action adaptation, right on, cool. If it sucks, well, that sucks. I'll go watch the anime again. Like, I don't care either way. I'm not banking on this to be, a life-changing experience. I'm just going to watch it and be like, we'll see how good this is. It is what it is. I don't really care. And I guess that's why I don't have as much investment in this as you guys do, or as some people that have been arguing over the Faye costume, because to me, this is just a live action change. It's just a bit of change in the costume. It's not a big deal to me. What matters more is if the series is good or bad. Take that as you will. Now, like I said, all things being equal, of course, I would have rather seen Faye in her more revealing outfit, so I agree with you. I think there's ways it could have been done, but I don't think we should blame the actress, and I don't think we should either write off the series just based on that. So that's my thoughts, my opinions. What do you guys think down below? I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I'd be happy to read all of them, good or bad. Let me know what you guys think about Faye and the costume change. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Please like it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to stick around and see more content. If you're new here, I cover anime, manga, movies, and all that nerd shit, so that's all here for you to enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you next time.